Good morning and welcome to Wisdom Wednesday podcast with your host, Dr. Mary Seegers. For the entire month of July, we've been talking about summer safety. You can listen to my last episode when I was talking about safety in your home, whether you're out in the community, concerts, museums, parks. Make sure you consider safety first. I always say this: I'd rather be safe than sorry. So today we're going to continue in that theme about summer safety, but more specifically, gun safety. I have an expert who will share his wisdom and his insight, his experience. But before that, you know the drill. Grab your coffee cup. I'm drinking a refresher from Starbucks today. Or perhaps you want water and orange juice and join in on the conversation. I want to officially welcome my guest, Rick Ector. How are you this morning, sir?
Hey, I am doing fine, and I hope that you are having a great morning as well.
I am. It's a brand new day I've never seen before, so I'm excited about it, right? Let me just share some more information about this phenomenal gentleman. We've been friends on the social media. I don't think I ever actually met him in person, but I'm looking forward to meeting him real soon in person. But social media is just like knowing someone, right? So let me just share this credentials about Rick. He's an NRA board member, endowment member recommended by nominating committee LTC holder, outreach committee in 2020 through 2024, the NRA training counselor, CRSO and instructor, pistol, rifle, shotgun, personal protection 1 and 2, cartridge and shotgun shell reloading, and home firearm safety. You have to break down some of that information. Sounds so good. But the NRA membership recruiter founded Legally Armed in Detroit that altogether organized free shooting classes for over 8,800 plus minority and inner city women. Now that's a proclamation right there. That was from 2012 all the way to the present. Women's event recap was in America's First Freedom, and that was in February of 2022, and was the cover story in Americans First Freedom, and that was in 2021. NRA ILA Grassroots Spotlight for Giving over 1,400 plus women free gun training, and that was August of last year, 2023. Featured in film, meet NRA instructor Rick Ector, the love's the love's worst nightmare. I'm gonna have to catch.
Google it.
Okay,
Google it.
that was in 2021. He was featured in the NRA film Detroit, Armed and Determined, and that was back in 2014. The gun owner for Trump Advisory Board, that was in 2020. The gun owner of America, GOA, the top 10 in 2019. Second Amendment Foundation, SAF, Defender of Liberty, 2016, and the Michigan Coalition of Responsible Gun Owner and Gun Advocate of the Year, 2014. Wow, what a resume, Rick. But I like how you stress the importance of gun safety. Can you just share with the audience a little bit? What do you mean when you say gun safety?
Well, when I say gun safety, I'm merely stressing that if an individual desires to have a firearm, they should do the bare minimum in terms of reading all of the appropriate documentation that comes with it, like any other product, say an automobile. You buy a car or you rent a car, there's that 700-page manual that's in the glove box.
That no one
Open
ever
the
reads.
glove, open the glove box and read it. I'm sure if on your maiden voyage in the vehicle, you're probably going to try to figure out how to open the fuel door, or how to cut the radio on, or how to adjust the radio. It's in the manual. Read it.
Yeah.
It's some good information in there. And operating a firearm safely is no different. I think it would be easier if you took a course and had an instructor run you through some of the
Yeah.
most commonly asked questions. But if you did that, a firearm would be it would be viewed as any other tool, something that proves useful when you need it, and that nothing unexpected would happen, and it's actually quite safe.
Now that's in theory, right? We
Well,
hear.
if it's like anything else, like a pool of water. It's a great resource on a hot, warm day. You can cool yourself off, get some exercise.
Right.
But if you don't know how to swim, it could be a dangerous thing to do.
That's true. And that's why I love about the safety. Do you recommend gun locks for gun owners? Will that help them to be safe with the use of their own guns?
The thing about firearms, and hopefully it comes across as a theme throughout our conversation today, is
Yeah.
that it requires responsibility. And if there are vulnerable people in your midst, in your environment, in your household, specifically, I'm talking about people who are smaller, inquisitive, curious,
Yeah.
they have a sense of adventure, they probably don't do everything that you've instructed to do. I'm talking about people otherwise known as children.
Yes.
You have to take them into account, and that you have to ensure that nothing unfortunate or unfortunate occurs, and
Right.
that happens with training and, if necessary, securing those firearms so that they can gain access to them. Now, I'm a huge advocate of children learning about guns, but that's done on a supervised basis. I
Okay.
think if you make an intentional effort to teach kids about guns,
Mhm.
they will develop a healthy respect for them, and there would never be a desire on their behalf to do something unfortunate like play with them.
Mhm.
Once you've done that in the proper environment with proper education, they could be one day become fully entrusted with their operation and with the ability, knowledge, skills to treat those tools, those firearms, with the reverence that they deserve.
Yes. When you mentioned about children learning about the safety, I can recall a dear friend of mine. I grew up with him, and his father taught him how to do deer hunting, and so he was very
Okay.
the rifle and so he was young. He was a young kid, and I was and as he grew older, he taught his son and that kind of thing. But again, it was taught how to properly use and it was for a gaming. I guess deer hunting is not the same as but it's a firearm, it's a rifle, right? So
Yeah, it's a firearm. Yes. And,
yeah.
and here's the thing:
Hmm.
firearm safety is the same in principle, whether we're talking about a pistol, a rifle, or the rules are pretty much the same. Always keep it pointed in a safe direction. Keep your finger off the trigger until you're ready to shoot. Treat it with the reverence and respect that it deserves. If there's appropriate documentation and manuals there, make sure that you avail yourself of their utility, and that you read them and that you study them each and every time you come into contact with the gun. It's not like, again, no different than operating an automobile.
Hmm. And I wish people will have that sense of understanding about that because we hear on the news time and time again, in our local community just recently, Rick, as you know, they had this what they call a street party, unauthorized street party, and there was shooting, like 19 people were shot and then two people lost their lives. I mean, when you hear that, you as a responsible gun owner, does that grieve your heart as well? I mean, it just tears my heart apart. Like, here we go again.
Anytime anyone misuses any device or item intentionally to cause another person any harm, grief, or injury, it bothers me, and it touches my heart. I'm human. I'm not a robot. I feel the same sentiments that anyone else, who hears of the story. But here's the ultimate point, and
Hmm.
I can't be more forceful when I share it with people. Unfortunately, there are people in this world who are not good. They are, I guess, bad. They're compromised. And unfortunately, there are folks out here who are willing to do bad things to their fellow person, their fellow man, without any qualms of the consequences. And it's really unfortunate. And I wish that this world was perfect. And I wish that we all would love each other as the creator would want us to. But unfortunately, it's not. As a former violent crime victim, I can attest you that I didn't bother anyone on that fateful day. And two people decided that shoving a gun in my face and taking whatever paltry possessions I had in my possession was worth the act of violence that was perpetuated against me. But
Wow.
you know, it was that incident, to repeat,
Yeah.
was tragic. It was unfortunate. It should not have happened.
Mhm.
But bad people do bad things.
Yeah, that's true. So I take that incident you just referred to, your own personal incident. Were you armed and were able to defend yourself, or remind me?
No, this was a time period decades ago, and I'm really shocked that I can remember it. This was at least 20 years ago. I had a different life, in a manner of speaking.
Hmm.
During that era, I was still working in corporate America. I had a job, a typical 9 to 5. I worked a lot of overtime. And
Hmm.
during this time of the year, I was coming home from work, say about 6 is normal.
Okay.
During that time of the year, it gets dark like around 4:30 or so. And
Yes.
as I was parking my car in the garage, two men that I did not know approached me outdoors in my backyard, and they produced a firearm and they robbed me as I was putting my car in the garage. And so the place where I felt most safe
Yeah.
actually turned out to be the environment in which I was victimized when you're at home. By the
Yeah.
time you come home after being at work all day, you exhale, you drop your defenses, you're not worried about anything.
That's right.
And unfortunately, I was robbed at gunpoint. But luckily for myself, I was not injured, I was not harmed.
Thank.
The things that they took from me were not worth my life. They probably got less than $40 in cash, a wallet, a bracelet, a necklace. I was inconvenienced, but here's the thing: I was fortunate in that I came away with that which was most valuable, which was my health and my life. But it was a watershed moment, and I made a lot of changes in the aftermath. I bought a gun,
Okay.
got a concealed pistol license, got training, and I started carrying a gun every day ever since.
Wow. Wow. And and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Michigan or certain cities within Michigan may be open carry. Uh, I know I've been in like Royal Oak, for example. I remember seeing people with open carry with their firearms. Is that factual, or did I missee
Well,
something?
I mean, open carry, for people who may not be familiar,
Mm-hmm.
it's the bearing and carrying or display of a firearm without any official documentation or license from the particular state you're in. And Michigan, ever since it was founded, we were founded hundreds of years ago.
Yeah.
It's always been legal in the state of Michigan. It's never been outlawed.
Okay.
It's not a practice that is done by a overwhelming percentage of people, but it is legal when done safely in
Mm-hmm.
accordance with the law. And there's a growing movement among some people who do it, and I've done it from time to time and on occasion.
Yeah.
When you're doing open carry, you still have to be safe. You still have to be responsible.
Right.
and you still have to pay attention because even if you're visibly carrying a gun, those bad people that are out there now may see an opportunity if they catch you not paying attention to try to take your gun. So it's an added incentive for someone to attack you. But again, with proper training, uh, certain precautions, it can be a safe activity. But personally, when I open carry, it's not so much a self defense act, it's a First Amendment act. If I do it, I'm doing it as a proclamation to say, hey, I have a gun, I'm a gun owner, I'm proud to do so, and I'm exercising my right to carry. And many times when I do that, it's in an environment in which people are curious, they want to ask questions, and I'm in a mindset when I want to share information with them. So, in a way, if I'm feeling antisocial, I conceal carry my gun.
And I can't imagine you being antisocial, Rick. I'm also a realtor. I don't know if you knew that. And I was at one of my recent meetings, um, and it's in Birmingham, but a lot of the realtors, mostly females, they were saying that they are licensed to carry because of the nature of their jobs. Sometimes you bring people
You
in.
figure as a realtor, you're going to be contacted by people at times that you've never met, you've never heard of. And sometimes they're probably going to ask you to meet them at some property somewhere. And it might just be you and that person. And depending on where that property is located, it might be in a secluded area. It might be far out in the boonies, or you would be exceedingly vulnerable
Mhm.
whether you were a woman or a man, and there is some inherent risk there. And I'm sure there are some procedural protocols your firm follows, but that's all predicated on you dealing with a nice, genuine, decent human being. What if you were dealing with someone who had no qualms about isolating you and attacking you? So, yeah, I would say I concur that it would make perfect sense for realtors and other professionals to conceal carry a firearm with appropriate training and licensure.
Absolutely. In fact, that happened to me when you were sharing. I thought, well, what our broker instilled, like when open house, do a partner thing, me and another realtor do it together, so you won't be left in the house alone. So we've done the buddy system. But I remember I was showing a home to, I had it listed in Indian Village, beautiful homes there. And the person said, I want to see the house because I want to buy the house. I'm gonna pay cash for it and all of that. And so as I was, it had the alarm system on it. I knew all of that. And so as I was getting out the car, um, and the gentleman met me, and he was just a different. I don't know. I just got a feeling, sometimes the instinct
Got a
or
bad vibe.
with bad vibes. I like that. And so he said, "Don't go into that house with 3 levels of floors with this man." And so I was fumbling around with the alarm. I said, you know what? My seller changed the alarm code, and I got to, I can't even go in. I don't, cops are coming and thinking we're still, breaking in. So let me do this. Why don't you call my office? Here's my card. I'll call. Let's reschedule, and I'll have the alarm at that time. And so he never called back. So. But I just knew I could not go in that house. At that time I wasn't armed or anything, but I did have mace. I think I had some mace in my pocket, but still and all, I wasn't going in that empty house, with that. So
You
that's
know, unfortunately, there are situations in which people have found themselves in,
Mhm.
and it's like their brain picks up on a subconscious level body language, changes in tone and attitude. Your brain is actually picking up on the fact that you're in danger. Your
Yes.
conscious mind, however, doesn't realize it, but you have a weird feeling. It's like people refer to it as a second mind, or as a second thought. And some people who actually follow that gut instinct, that gut feeling, they always come away from it with, I'm glad that I listened to it and that I did not dismiss it.
Absolutely.
Sometimes people have ignored it and dismissed it, and they wished in the aftermath that they had paid attention to it. That's your body, your subconscious talking to you, and you should listen and heed that directive.
Yeah. I know you call it that. I call it the spirit of God was just assuring me, don't go in there, for your own safety. Yeah. But whatever is that second thought. Let's talk about training. I know you recommend training to use properly the firearm. Tell me, do you provide training and how can people who's interested in owning firearms about training? So can you share your thoughts about that, Rick?
Well, yeah, it's the most important thing that one should keep in mind when you're deciding to acquire a firearm and introduce it into your home and/or workplace.
Mhm.
Um, a firearm, like I stated before, I alluded to earlier, it's just a thing. If you read the manual and you follow it each and every time you come into contact with it, it's a completely safe device or thing to use. Training as a firearms instructor, I do it on a regular, ongoing basis. If a person wants to contact me directly for training classes on how to safely operate the firearm, how to go to the gun range and produce nice, pretty holes in their target silhouettes, you can reach me on the internet at social media and at most sites. My handle is Detroit CCW. Of course, my name is Rick Ector, RICKECTOR. My flagship blog is legallyarmedindetroit.com. But what I do want to do is make sure that I invite anyone that hears this interview or sees this video is to actually come out to my blog and find the promotion for a free shooting event for women that I'm doing not this upcoming weekend, but next weekend on the 27th and the 28th. I'm offering a free range safety briefing and a free shooting lesson for women. Women. In this day and age, some people approach me and they want to ask me what a woman is. Look, I'm 56. I'll be 57. If you are a woman, come to the event, right? I'm not going to define to you what a woman is. If you're a woman, sign up and come to the event, and I will train you.
Uh,
And this event, it has modules that are 90 minutes long. We give you a free range safety briefing. We provide all the materials. You'll have a gun, you'll have ammunition, you have safety equipment, eye protection, ear protection, gun. You'll be trained one on one with the firearms instructor. In the aftermath of the shooting experience, you'll be given feedback on your results. And if you desire to pursue this gun ownership, firearms training lifestyle, by all means, other firearms instructors will be there and be happy to answer your questions. Um, if you remember a childhood story by Dr. Seuss, it was called Green Eggs and Ham.
oh yeah.
I don't know if we've partaken in reading the story Green Eggs and Ham, or if we've ever eaten green eggs and ham. But the proprietor, the advocate of the dish, said, "Try it, try it, try it, and you might actually like it."
And that's we got to have an open mind about that because when we hear all the news reports, especially when summer comes, seem like guns just immediately appear, and we hear every weekend something's going on. But if they get proper training and proper how to handle it, they will be feel more safe about it.
Well, it all depends on how seriously you want to take this personal protection lifestyle thing. I've made a lot of major alterations to my lifestyle.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily go to densely populated events.
Mhm.
Going downtown to all these festivals and concerts, or going out to these huge block parties, or so putting myself in environments in which, like, there's a lot of people I do not know. I constantly survey my environment. I'm very careful as to who I allow into my inner circle. I'm constantly paying attention to what's happening around me. I know what's normal and what's out of place, and I listen to that inner voice. And as you say, the word of God, and if it tells you to get out, leave. Yes, I do all of that. And you know what? I've been successful in that I have not been robbed in the aftermath of that initial unfortunate incident several a couple of decades ago. But I do believe there were a couple of scenarios in which I did not take action. Something bad would have happened, but that was all predicated on me paying attention and me listening and acting. But yeah, owning a firearm is your right. I believe it's your duty. Protect yourself, protect your family, and protect your community.
And seem like Rick, remember back in the day, I'm a little older than you. You're saying you're 50 something,
I
but
don't know. I look older than you.
age is just a number, right? But the back in the day, if you will, when you have a dispute with people, you know, we would fight it out and it's over. But now, if you do something to me, my revenge is to the point. Let me get a gun and I'm gonna kill you. You know, and it could have been something about uh, a misunderstanding. So why are people so in this day and age now, the society we live in now? That is their retaliation. That's their revenge. Is to get a gun, whether I properly know how to use it. I know I want to kill you, and have no reverence of your life or my own life.
it's just I just chalk it up to a lack of reverence or respect for life in general. The way I live my life, I go out of my way to avoid conflict. And I'm not like saying that I'm walking around like a doormat just waiting for people to abuse me. No, I go out of my way not to cause any miscommunications, any misunderstandings. If someone cuts me off in traffic, I let them cut me off. I'm not blasting on my horn,
Yeah,
or trying to run them off the road, and they're not trying to get me back.
right.
And see, when we watch the news, we'll see something as innocuous as that
Mhm.
lead to two people chasing each other on the freeway, trying to hurt each other with their vehicles. No, look, you never know what people are going through.
That's true.
Extend them grace, give them a wide berth, and you know what, go on about your life.
Yeah.
you know um and you know what,
Mhm.
I think if we did that, and I think if we actually realize that you never know what some people are going through, and if you just be the bigger person, a lot of things that could escalate out of control would not manifest themselves into actuality.
Mhm. And I just have to speak about this. What happened this past weekend with the candidate? When I heard that, I just couldn't even believe it. But people who are disturbed, how can they get use of a gun? I mean, when you buy a gun or purchase a gun, don't they do a background check? I mean, what
Yeah,
is
and from everything that I've been able to read and research on this unfortunate incident, you're talking about the young man that acquired a rifle from his parents. I mean, he was a high school graduate by at least a couple of years. He had a job.
Mhm,
He seemed to be a normal person from all of the interviews they've done with family and friends.
mhm,
But you never know. You never know who is a potential bad person who has evil in their hearts or is willing to do a bad thing. So how do you protect yourself? Well, you protect yourself one by paying attention, watching your surroundings, and arming yourself and being willing to act. Now, the unfortunate incident about this assassination attempt of President Trump is that the thing I found most interesting is that the people who were charged with protecting the president
mhm,
did not look in that general area at that structure and say, "Hey, this place, this building is within range of a rifle. We
mhm,
should probably have someone check out this building, not only at the bottom where the police were, but at the elevation above, and ensure no one could get up there. But let me tell you, I don't know where some people's sentiments and where their beliefs are. Hopefully I don't offend you or anyone else, but I am a believer, and on this day at this time, God was had his hand on the president and kept him safe because there's no other way I can explain how he survived.
I know. I'm right there with you on that. Yes, because I was still in awe. I was in shock. I thought at first it wasn't real, but yeah, it's amazing what's going on in our world today. But I know one thing: if they go the right way, learn if you want to purchase a gun, because it is your right to own firearm. Get the training and be safe with your weapon. I call it a weapon. I guess
That's fine.
is it a weapon or it can be a weapon, right?
I call it my friend, my buddy, my companion, weapon. I mean, it all translates the same.
Yeah, yeah. But use it safely and what it's intended to do. Because if someone's intruding in your home, you do have the right and you have firearms. You can be able to protect your family and your protection and your property. You can use your fire gun, right? Your firearm.
I mean, here's the play. Out of all the places you could potentially be,
Mhm.
even the law in the most anti-gun areas of the country, they all acknowledge that in your home you have every right and expectation of being safe in your home.
Mhm.
It is your refuge from the world at large. And yes, you should be able to at least own and bear and keep a firearm in your home, right? Like, if you're not safe at home, you're not safe anywhere.
That's right. I agree. Yes.
And
So,
so, yeah, and protect yourself and read the manual and get some training and protect yourself, especially at home.
yes, I agree. It's been great. I appreciate Rick you taking time out of your
Oh
day.
man, has the time gone by that fast?
Have you well, I know. I want you again to share with the audience how they can reach out to you. People are more want to be more educated about the training, how to do that. I love this free event. I will be there as well
Oh,
as
thank you for coming.
I'll
Look,
be
let me tell you, if you want to find me, there's no way you can miss me.
right.
If you literally Google my name, even without quotes,
Right.
Rick Ector, RICK space ECTOR,
Mhm.
you'll see a ton of information about me.
Yes.
My blog is legallyarmedindetroit.com. I have a presence on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, IMDb. I mean, I'm all over the place.
Okay.
And here's the thing: make sure that you go to those properties and sign up for this free shooting event for women. I pay for and provide everything one on one with a professional firearms instructor. I provide a gun, ammunition, range time, target, eye protection, ear protection. Uh, there's no stone unturned to make this a safe and free educational event. Hopefully, by the end of that weekend, I will have trained another 1,750 women. Secretly, I'm hoping that we train 2,000 women. But if you're a woman, you're interested, you have a desire, please come out to my blog, legallyarmedindetroit.com, register, sign up for a time slot, and please attend. We'll have a great day, and I'll do everything to ensure that it is a profitable use and expenditure of your time.
Wow. Now, Rick, one more question for me. What would you recommend? A handgun versus, I don't know all the pistol, a
You know,
33.
well, I mean, for a first firearm, I would recommend that the person get a pistol.
Okay.
And here's the thing. Well, gee, Rick, what kind of pistol? Well, it should be at least 9 millimeter in caliber, fits your hand like a glove,
Mhm.
that you can shoot well. Well, you like, well, what do you mean, Rick, that I shoot well? Well, yeah, I'm suggesting that you go to a gun range, probably with a firearms instructor that you know and trust, or at least a shop with helpful staff.
Mhm.
Have them cycle through with you a battery of guns to pick up and hold and actually put your fingers in the various key spots to actually use the device. See if you can actually fit it and reach it properly. It's like buying a car, that's one of those clown cars that's really small and you're like 6 foot 5, 7 feet tall.
Right,
You
right.
have to match the car with the person. The same thing with the firearm. It has to match and fit you and train and see what happens. You will find the best gun for you, but as much as I would like to, I can't give you a name or a style or a model of gun for you specifically to go buy sight unseen. You're going to have to go and shop. Yeah, and shop. We like to shop, right?
We
Let's
do.
go shop and buy the best gun for us.
Wow. I've learned a lot because I know you could buy guns or at Walmart, right? Or is there a specific gun store that you can purchase or online? I mean, there's so many options, right?
Well, there's a plethora of places where you can buy guns.
Mhm.
Of course, these retailers have gone through all of the processes and procedures. They've jumped through all the hoops, dotted all the I's, crossed all the T's to get a license from the ATF to actually sell guns. And there are places all over the place. I mean, some gun stores and gun shops are better than others. I mean, it's like no, it's just like any other industry. You'll find some areas which have helpful staff, have a battery of inventory, with a lot of different options and models to choose from. Don't be in a rush. Take your time, do your due diligence, and shop. You will come away from the experience enriched and empowered.
Awesome. Well, I'll see you on July, you said 26th and 27th, right?
It's on the 27th and 28th.
Okay, I got to get the dates
Pick
right.
one of those days.
All right.
Pick a 1.5 hour time slot. You want to be there anywhere from, I believe we start at 9 to 7. Find you a 1.5 hour time block that you want to sign up for. And when you show up, make sure you find me. I'll be there. I want to meet you, shake your hand, and get a picture at least, and post it on my social media that I actually met you. So, yeah, it's
All right.
better than the autograph. I want a picture with you.
All right. It's going to happen in a couple of weeks. I'm so glad. And thank you
Yes.
again for taking time out of your busy schedule to share your wisdom and your insight and your experience and your expertise in having a gun safety. So, again, have a blessed day.
The honor was mine. I look forward to meeting you, and you have a great day today.
You as well. Thanks, Rick. Bye for now.
Bye now.